more and more companies want to contribute to society, which is wonderful because we have a lot of global challenges. But I always find it a pity when an organization is doing well for society, but when it doesn't have a huge impact on their customer relations. So I wanted to make this presentation with 3 strategies that you can use to bring value to society in a customer-centric way. Because face reality, we have a lot of people out there that are looking for companies that take their responsibility, because there are a lot of global challenges on our plate. I mean, we have a fight against racism and discrimination. We have a climate problem that is becoming more and more urgent every single day. We had the biggest healthcare crisis of our generation with a devastating impact on many individuals and businesses. So the world is looking for organizations that are willing to take their responsibility. And fact is that most people have a higher level of trust that business leaders can tackle these problems than government leaders can. And 74% of the world's population is actually looking at business leaders to become part of the solution, and don't wait until a government is forcing them to do so. So can you change the world? For most companies, the answer is no. Most companies cannot change the world, because if you're a small bakery somewhere in Spain, how can you change the world? This shouldn't be the obsession. The goal is to change your world. How can you use your strengths to have a positive impact on society in a way that it will also reflect on your customer relations? So let's look to these 3 different strategies that you can use. The first one is, of course, about sustainability. But I like it when companies work on sustainability in a way that it's linked back to the core of their business. Let's look at this. This is a spectacular phenomenon in the world. It's called Black Friday, as you know, but it's crazy. Yeah? Every time when I see these images, I'm like, whoa, there's something wrong with this whole concept. But apparently a lot of people love it. But then you have a company like IKEA. And IKEA thought, we need to do this differently. And why don't we start with a new concept? Instead of Black Friday, it's Buyback Friday. And the idea is very powerful. They invite customers to bring back furniture that they bought in the last couple of years. And then IKEA will give these products a second life. They will clean them up, they will put some paint on it, and they will then sell it to other people that cannot afford the normal prices of IKEA. And at the same time, they will give people some money for the furniture that they brought back. That is changing your world, because at that moment, IKEA is using its core strengths to add value to society. They use their own marketplace, they use their own community, completely linked back to their core products to make a difference for society. I love it when organizations are trying to have an impact on sustainability in a way that it links back to their core business. That's one strategy. A second one is this. Think about the trade-offs in your market. The truth is that many of your customers, when they do business with you, that they're facing a trade-off. Sometimes we have to choose between privacy and convenience. Sometimes we want to buy a cheap product, but we know that it was produced in an unethical way, but we still want to buy it. We like to, make our own decisions with our own money, our own freedom, even if we know that it has a bad impact on society. I like to travel, but I know that it's not always good for the planet. It's a trade-off. What is the trade-off in your industry? The moment that you can identify the trade-off in your industry, that's the moment when you can start to reduce it. And when you eventually eliminate it, then you're having a positive impact on society in a way that it's directly linked to your business, so your customers will understand what you're doing. Let's take a few examples. Take fireworks. Many people enjoy fireworks. At New Year's Eve or when you go to Disneyland, we love fireworks. But animals hate it. Horses can be really scared because of fireworks. Can we solve this trade-off? Yes, we can solve this trade-off. You now have these small drones that you can launch into the sky, thousands at the same time, and they can bring a fantastic light and sound spectacle that maybe it's even better and more spectacular than the traditional fireworks. But us humans, we still have this wonderful show. We can enjoy that. But the downside for the animals is completely gone. We solved the trade-off. Let's take this trade-off again. My personal freedom versus the planet. I'm not a vegetarian. I like to eat meat. even though I know that it's bad for my personal health, and I know it's bad for the planet, but I like to eat meat. That's a trade-off. Can we solve this trade-off? Yes, more and more companies are trying to help us with that. Take companies like Beyond Meat or Impossible Foods. They try to mimic the meat experience. They want to give people that enjoy a good piece of meat, they want to make sure that they have the same taste, smell, and texture experience. That's what they try to do. And of course, these organizations are still in their early days, but you can already feel that they're getting traction. Like Impossible Foods can be found in Burger King, you can now find it in the supermarket. And when they finally achieve their mission, at that moment, if they do, somewhere in the future, that's the end of that trade-off. And at that moment, you changed your world. You had a positive impact on society. That's the second strategy. Try to remove the trade-off from your industry. And then a third one has to do with ethics. Doing the right thing is also having a positive impact on society. You know, ever since the human race came to the planet, we lived in a can we do it mentality. We discovered fire, so we started to make fire. We discovered the car, so we started to make cars. Can we go to the moon? Let's go to the moon. I mean, that's how we grew up, with a can we do it mentality. I believe that in the next couple of years, we definitely have to keep the can we do it mentality. But next to that, let's also talk about should we do it? Because we're going to have so many powerful technologies that are going to be available for all of us, for all our companies, that if we don't proactively think about the should we do it question, that we will probably create new situations that we're not ready for. This is an experiment that happened in South Korea. In 2020, there was this lady that had the opportunity to meet up with her 7-year-old little daughter, that passed away a couple of months before that. So this lady has the opportunity in virtual reality to meet up with her child that passed away. I cannot start to believe what this lady must have felt at this moment, but it gave me goosebumps when I saw it. And every time when I see it, I'm like, okay, this is what we can do in 2020. Imagine the quality of these kind of productions in 2030, in 2040. I'm convinced that by the time that I will pass away, my children will have the opportunity to keep me alive in a virtual way. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But it's those kind of opportunities. I don't know if they're opportunities, but those kind of situations that we will have. As I mentioned, we have all these very powerful technologies that are coming our way, from AI to robotics to quantum computing. And it will give us opportunities to create products and innovations that go beyond anything that we've seen so far. And because of that, if you want to have a positive impact on the world, try to focus also on the should we do it question. You probably know that I write business books. I've written 5 books about the future of customer experience. But in November 2020, I also wrote this thriller called Eternal, which is about it's a story that happens in 2041, and it talks about a company that brings to the market the promise of eternal life. And I wanted to create a conversation about that and invite people to think about the consequences of eternal life. Should we do it? But maybe now you're thinking, yeah, but Steven, eternal life, that has nothing to do with our company. How can we bring this back to reality? Well, let's make it more concrete. I take the challenge. Huh? Let's make it more concrete. Let's look at an innovation that Amazon brought to market a couple of months ago, the Halo bracelet. It's a bracelet like you have the Fitbit or the Apple Watch. It counts your steps and all those kind of things. But it also has this feature that was new. It also measures your emotions. It can know if you are angry or if you're worried or if you're afraid, if you're really happy. Question is, why is Amazon measuring that? I know when I feel happy or sad. I don't need a device for that. I cannot count my steps, but I know my own emotions. So why is that device capturing that? I don't know. But imagine what they can do with it. What if they find a correlation between your level of happiness and the price you're willing to pay? And if you use that data and create personalized prices, imagine the kind of world that opens up for an organization like Amazon. I'm not saying that they're doing that. I don't think they are, but they created the opportunity to do it. And it's at those moments that we need to ask the question, should we do it? And asking the should we do it question at the right moment is, in my opinion, also a way to contribute to a more positive world. And then you have your 3 opportunities to contribute to a better world in a way that it has an impact on your customers. Have an impact on sustainability in a way that it reflects to your customers and that you leverage your core strengths to do it, because then people will know. Think about the trade-off. How can you end the trade-off in your industry? If you do so, it has a direct impact on your customers. And doing the right thing, more and more the ethical questions that may feel a little bit abstract today will become part of a global conversation. And if you play a thought leader role there, your customers will know and they will appreciate it. 3 strategies to contribute to a better world in a way that your customers actually benefit from it and that your customers are aware from it. I hope this inspired you to think about this part of your strategy in a new way, in an open way. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. I share a lot of content there. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in one of my next videos. Thanks a lot, guys.